put your head in the game, 'cause your life is no mistake. Your hard work is gonna pay. Living our life by design, yeah.
Are back today, and we have Coach Shani with us because we couldn't just do one session. We couldn't just do one segment. We believe that this is so much a part of the re-education of kings, and it is important for us to understand how food impacts how we think, how we perceive. And so, like I said, we got Coach Shani back in the house. That we're going to be talking a little bit more today about how food impacts you. And we're going to talk about change. We're going to talk about what it would take for us to change these habits. I'm telling you, I know it's not easy. It's not easy because I'm telling you, I've had some challenging days, but I think I've been doing well though. I've been doing well. I've been really doing well. I want to start off by reading a verse of scripture that's going to help us navigate what it is we're going to be talking about today. That's Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 18. I think this is very powerful. Watch this. The eyes of your understanding being enlightened, that ye may know what the hope of his calling is. Now, I find that quite intriguing because it's telling us that, well, let's deal with this first. What is the eye? The eye is really referring to your understanding or your capacity to understand, because whatever you understand, you see. Your perception is your reality. And this is what Ephesians is saying. But it's helping us to understand that your understanding has to be enlightened. Yes, we all have the capacity to understand. But here's what I found out. According to the text, not all understanding is created equal. This is important, folks, because while we are all given the capacity to understand, now it is the degree to which we understand that separates the goats from the sheep. And God is saying in this text, your understanding has to be enlightened. Now, this word enlightened really refers to knowledge or the light of knowledge to be shown on your understanding, to increase it. And remember now, we talked about growing from glory to glory. Now, that doesn't happen without understanding. It is quite interesting to me that God sees one's growth significantly tied to the way you understand or your capacity to understand. I know that there are some people who will say, this is who I am, don't change me, don't try. That person has made, please forgive me, an ignorant statement. Yeah, here's why that's important. Because according to Matthew 6 and 33, understanding is becoming. You become what you know. Now, I find that, again, intriguing because I've known this young lady since we were children in school. But this is a different person. I remember when we started talking the second time, she said, boy, I don't know, let's see who the adult version is. Because what you learn and understand over time changes you. You become it. So Coach Shani, help me with this. Help me with this concept of, and she uses an interesting word. Now I'm going to let her do that because I understand conceptually where she's going with that. But as it pertains to the food we eat, we were just talking about how everything really is designed to subdue you, to choke your desires, willpower, and your perception. Talk to us about how detrimental foods can be to us in that regard? Yeah, it's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful, but food can be used in two ways, for healing and for destruction.
Hmm.
I have come to realize that we choose the latter,
Okay.
right?
Now you say we choose.
Yeah, we choose the latter.
Do we choose with our eyes wide shut, or do we choose ignorantly?
We choose with our eyes, our nose, and our senses, right?
Okay, all right. Okay.
And so what I've come to also understand is if the food item looks good, smells good, tastes good, we're going to devour it.
So we eat what tastes good, not necessarily what's good for us.
Right. And so in essence, over time, we've just been getting a belly full. We've not been nourishing.
Tell me the difference between, and I don't even want to use the word devil's advocate. That's just ridiculous. Tell me the difference, and there is a difference between food that tastes good and food that is good for us.
So that's a tricky way to put it, because not because the food item is nourishing, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have to have flavor, right? So persons over time have come to understand that they associate nourishment with bland or unflavored,
Right.
and that is furthest from the truth.
Okay.
Right? The belly full that I'm talking about is something that's fast, something that's quick, something that we can just grab quickly.
Right.
But did it nourish? Did we get all the nutrition that we need?
Right.
Like, did it have calcium and vitamin B and C and all those things? Did it have that?
Right.
And I have to say no.
But we're not thinking about that, Coach. We're not thinking about. I'm going to Dirty's. I'm going to Sammy's. And I want to let me ask them: does your potatoes have vitamins?
Yes.
We're not thinking like that.
I know that, and it's so funny that you say that, because back in the day, we didn't have all these restaurants, so we didn't have to think about where we're gonna go. We're gonna
right,
this,
right.
When we got home from school, we went in the kitchen and food was on the stove.
Right. Now, okay, I got you. But let's talk about that.
Right. So we didn't have to worry about whether or not it had all these things. Our parents made sure that it did. And so the foods were prepared differently. All of these additives and preservatives was not incorporated in our food.
I get you.
Naturally, we didn't have to question. We just knew. And if we're paying attention, we realize that the foods that we're having, it's inducing hunger. So we're eating more.
Say it again. The food that we're eating is inducing what?
Inducing hunger.
Explain that, please.
Okay. You could go and have your Dirty's chicken or your bamboo shack or your Kentucky, whatever.
And by the way, we love Dirty's and we love bamboo shack.
You can have that.
Okay.
That's supposed to keep you full for hours. Sadly, it's not, because within the next 2 hours or so, you're hungry again. And so that means that your ability to get rid of the hunger, you didn't nourish it, so the body was not satisfied. And so what happens is the body scans and it says, okay, I know food is coming in, and I know that I'm going to get this nutrition that I need, the nutrients that I need to function with all my bodily organs. And the body's excited, right? And so it sends you to eat. You go and you pick up your food out, and the body says, oh my God, yes. I want to get this now. And then the body does a scan, and it's looking for certain nutrients. And the body's like, well, what is going on here? Like, I know
your body literally scans to see if
your organs need particular nutrients in order for it to function.
Okay. You're saying a lot right here. You need to take the time with this. Let me tell you why that's important. See, because you're saying some things here that I don't believe a lot of us are aware of. You're saying our organs need certain nutrients.
Yes.
But we are only eating what tastes good.
Correct.
But not necessarily what's good for us. And we are eating to say, we're hungry, we want to be satisfied or filled, but in the next 2, maybe 3 hours, we're hungry again. But the body is scanning, looking. I got a question. If the body is scanning to look for nutrients from what it is we're eating and it does not find it, what is the food that we ate actually doing?
It just took the hunger away. it didn't nourish the body. And so this is when the nutritional deficiencies occur, because over a time, we're just eating, consuming, getting the belly full. We get hungry, we ate, the hunger went away. Maybe we might have a headache, maybe we have a tummy ache. So we address that issue, but it's the underlying issue that went unmet, which is the nutrition that the body was requiring. And so not because we ate didn't mean that we nourished.
Right.
Eating and being nourished are two things. So you remember last week we talked about culturally eating.
Correct.
Right? Cultural eating doesn't support nutrition.
And let me tell you why I know that's so powerful. I grew up in a church family, and my grandmother, as a child, used to send me to one of the sisters in the church. After her husband passed, the mothers in the church would take care of my grandmother. Her name is Miss Virgil. Shout out to the Virgils. And because my grandmother, her husband, they were the pastors of this church. They founded this church. So when my grandfather passed, the church mothers decided, listen, you don't never have to cook on a Sunday. We got you. So she used to say, Dwight, I need you to go down to the Virgils and pick up the food. So I used to walk down to the corner there off of East Street, Coleman Lane, go get the food. Man, they used to have big pans ready. Let me tell you what.
I'm quite sure macaroni was one of them.
Let me tell you.
Scalloped potatoes.
Let me tell you.
Fried fish.
Listen.
Right?
Listen.
Go ahead.
They would have peas and rice, potato salad, macaroni, baked chicken, barbecue chicken, ribs, fried fish, and I could not wait for something. What? And I would take that back to my grandmother, and then she would just take up all the food and put it right next to me. When I tell you, tastes good, tastes good. But it wasn't until I got much older that I realized I was eating potato salad, starch, rice, starch, like the trifecta was, and then the chicken was smothered.
It's based with flour too, or barbecue sauce, right? Right? So you see how that works.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We talk about culturally eating. Again, let's put this in context. During slavery, slaves were not given the choice cuts of the food. They were given scraps. But whatever Black people are given, we can turn that into.
Make it taste good.
It tastes good, right? And what began to happen is we created dishes from these scraps that brought the diaspora together. And we would enjoy that. And it created a depth of meaning for us.
Right.
Of course, over time, dishes kind of changed over a period of time. But you're talking about food that is culturally built to bring us together, to share levels of comfort and security, that when we talk to each other during the months, we talk about what we did, talk about the food that was cooked.
Connection.
It's deep, it's very deep. Yeah. You are now saying, now, here's the thing, I'm not saying that you're wrong or this can't change. What I'm saying is, this is the degree, and it's deeper, to which people have become so accustomed. And to change that is not easy. It's almost as if you have to change your environment, change the people you frequent, change everything in order to get to the place where you realize I need to make a significant level of change. There's two questions I have for you. One, talk about, or a little bit about, how you you said something couple of weeks ago. You said, I did not want to go to the hospital anymore. Mm-hmm. See, that to me, that's a Kairos moment. That's a moment where you decided life and death. I can't do this no more. Mm-hmm. See, to me, that's when real change happens. Now, it may not be that for others because everybody's personality and temperament is different. But for you, you know, because there are some people who know I got diabetes, but I will eat cake until I die. Right. I get on the hospital, let them cut this off. I can still eat cake when I go home. It ain't clicked for them. Tell me what you believe would be the turning point for people to change their diet. I hate using that word. The way they eat, right? A lifestyle. And here's the second question. That's the first one. What would it take for people to change that? And here's the second one. Talk a bit about eating different foods and what it means to us when we eat it. You get that? Like, okay.
You're talking about cravings?
Not just craving. If I eat something crunchy, if I eat something savory, if I eat, yes. Okay.
So you said a mouthful just.
I know.
What I picked up from what you said is that we come together, we surround ourselves with food. So that's a culturally linked.
Yeah.
And so I can see where the term came about, where we say sickness and disease is generational because we're all eating the same, right? And so because we're all eating the same, therefore we will all have the same deficiencies, and therefore the deficiencies will breed the same diseases, whether it's hypertension, whether it's diabetes, whether it's heart problems, and the like. And so that's one part of what I gather from you. So sickness and disease does not run in families. What runs in families are poor eating habits, our inability to move the body and to manage stress.
Okay, so again, inability to move the body. What does that mean?
Exercising, walking, right? We don't do breath work, right? Where we can release toxins.
Okay, oh, Jesus. We don't move.
No.
We don't do breath work.
Breathing exercises where we can breathe in and breathe out.
But you're talking to people who say they believe in God, and God can take away all of that. God can do all of this for us.
This is the scary part about it. You asked me also, what is it going to take? It's going to take a mindset change, because the things that we come to know is not what really is, right? We think that we can just pray and these things will go away.
Disappear.
No, they're not.
Listen, we can do an all-night prayer service and we can pray against fat and diabetes and
it does not work like that. This lifestyle requires a radical change. It means that, okay, the scripture says faith without works is dead.
Correct.
The works is you being willing to make changes in the kitchen.
I'm being educated.
The works means that you are now willing to move your body and exercise. It means for you to maintain your stress levels, your emotional, your mental, right? You have the faith that these things can get better, but the work is on you.
It's just a lot going on. See, here's the thing for me, man. It's just so much. Let me read something, and I think this is going to be.
Is this something that I said?
It's a whole lot of what you said. Okay. Okay. So there's a unified system that can only exist to distract you. Mm-hmm. This system is so powerful that we have been encased in it. Right. So you're talking about breathing exercises. You're talking about stretching and moving. You're talking about diet change, lifestyle change. But here's the challenge for me. The challenge is, I've been in this all my life. Let me use me as an example. This week, boy, look here, I hardly got some sleep because of working day and night. Man, when I start thinking about what to eat, I get scared. Because I know what my go-to is. Yeah. I know my go-to is, right. Let me get some, and I like fish. I like my grouper. right? Let me get some fish with some peas and rice, some coleslaw, some macaroni, and let me kill that. But I can't have that. My dilemma is I'm now driving and I'm thinking, what could I eat? What could I eat? And I want to eat something that I'm going to enjoy. So I'm trying to make a compromise, right? Because I know I got to eat right. I know I can't. Now, here's the thing. Let me tell you what really scares me about choosing something to eat, the way I feel after.
Right.
Well, Father
So that's the
Abraham,
deciding
Isaac,
factor, right?
Us.
A lot of us, I find that we have a lot of comfort foods.
Right.
And we don't realize that our comfort foods is telling a story about us.
Okay, talk.
So unless or until we are aware of what our comfort food is suppressing, because that's what it is, or comforting, we're not going to deal with the emotional stuff that we're dealing with. So for instance, you find persons lean toward salty or crunchy food. For me, that's telling a story. It's a deeper underlying problem. When you're trying to comfort, you're trying to either get away from or cope with. So it could be anger, it could be nutritional deficiency. There's a lot of moving factors. There could be imbalances with your hormones, right? But you don't know. Your body sends you signals all the time.
Men have hormones too?
Of course.
Okay, just trying to.
Right? Everybody has an endocrine system, and that's what houses all of your hormones, of course. And so the same way women feel, men feel, but still different, right? Because we are female, we have all of the female organs and stuff like that. But when we're craving stuff, like, I don't know if you ever pay attention, some people want creamy stuff, pasta, ice cream, right? That's an indication, or can be an indication, that you're seeking comfort, like touch or hugs, or to be understood or something. So because you're not having those things in real lifetime, you go to something that makes you feel cozy within. If some of these things, it feels like a warm hug.
Okay, so coconut tarts, pastries, nice cookies. Okay, I'm just asking for somebody, because that's what they like. They like.
Okay. Yeah. So the idea around all of this is to be open and honest with yourself about what it is that you're really dealing with. And a lot of times we don't do self-audit. Okay. We just find ourselves doing certain things, and some of us are not even aware of our behaviors and our patterns until someone else points it out to them.
Now talk about that. You said some of us are not even aware. Now let me tell you why that's important. Because we are also talking about becoming conscious and aware in the present moment of what's going on with you. Right. But most people do not want or lack the capacity to accept
who they are. Yeah.
Let's talk about that in terms of that's the first step before any change can happen.
Yeah, because awareness is key. If we can't conquer what we're not aware of, we can't overcome anything that we are unwilling to address. And so we have to be open and honest to say, you know what, this is the situation. I'm feeling like this, and here's why. Right? I'm eating this because right now I can't have that.
Okay.
And so even when it comes to drinking, right, we could be having a lot of mental issues, emotional turmoil, and so that's like it's like a hideaway. If I can numb myself, I don't have to feel all the things that I'm feeling. If I can eat a certain type of food, I don't have to feel all of these things. And so it's almost like it's right. And so we do it so often that we're not aware
that's what it is.
And then it creates another problem internally with our organs, because sometimes these things, the food items or the what I want to say here, the comfort item is doing more damage than harm, because it's addressing the immediate area. I don't have to feel these things, but is it addressing the root cause?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Do me a favor, Ruth, find the scripture. Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper, be in health, even as your soul prosper. Let me tell you that as you were talking, that scripture came to mind, because according to God, your health is at the same level as your spiritual development.
Exactly.
Alabama.
right? And so this is why we
Wow.
can't create these things away. We have to take active role. There's a lot of persons who are not present in their life, and so health and wellness requires you to take an active role in your overall health and well-being.
Where is it?
John 1?
John 1 and 3.
No, John 1, 2.
John 1 and 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that
That
you
prosper
be in health, even as your soul prospers. So let me tell you why I find this and why I am so excited to have you on these sessions. Because a healthy body really will determine the way you think,
Yeah.
the way you perceive life. And if the body is off, then how you think about life will be off.
Because there's a lot of deficiencies and imbalances, and so you can't really function at your full capacity.
So do you believe that persons who are challenged need persons like yourself to come in and to help them hold and actually face it? Because I can tell you, initially, when we started talking again and you were telling me all what you did, and I was, oh yeah, man, I want, come on, you could help me, yeah.
It's not
Boy,
easy.
when you started,
It's not easy.
tell me what you eat today. We need 3 days stretch. You need to lock that down. Boy, I ain't locked that down yet.
Yeah.
Because now, I mean, it's not that I don't want to do it. Go ahead.
It is not easy. So a person's want to has to want to. So if I don't want to, then I'm not going to make the necessary changes, right? That's a person could want to be healthy, but wanting to doesn't get the job done.
Gee.
And so what we have to do is be intentional, right? You asked me a question earlier, what was the turning point for me?
Right.
And the fact that I shared with you that I got tired of the hospital trips.
Right.
That was a major turning point for me, dealing with postpartum depression and psychosis, right? I'm not against medicine,
Right.
but I serve a great big God.
Absolutely.
Right? And I don't believe that He's left us resourceless.
Come on. Yeah.
And so where there is medical means, Genesis 1:29 gives us the roadmap.
Yeah.
And so I had to take the medical approach, and I'm of the mindset that the medical approach should be for a period of time, but not a lifetime.
A lifetime.
So we've reversed that, and we're paying for it, right? And so as believers,
Right.
we have decisions to make.
Right.
Who are we going to believe?
Right.
Are we going to believe the medical industry,
Right.
or are we going to believe God, who
Right.
created this body? Right? I don't know about you, but I've experienced both, and I prefer to be fixated on what God says.
Well, I remember when we went to All Rapids University, we had a orientation, and they took us to ORU has a medical center across the road from it, tall tower. It's a cancer center.
Right.
And the doctors came in and they were talking to us, and they started to share with us that they don't take patients that come in not willing to at least have hope and believe that God can do this.
Yes.
So they said that they would not treat that patient. That to me was key. You said the turning point for you was, okay, enough of that.
Mm-hmm.
But you did what you had to do in terms of the medical profession and them taking care of you. But while you were doing that,
I still was doing what God said. And so the more nourished my body became, I basically was stabilizing my body with nutrition while on medication. All right. And so the idea for me was being more nourished and medicated, if that makes sense. Right? And so I had to learn how to eat all over again. Right? Because just like you, I enjoy all that you stated. Right? But I had to learn how to embrace the things that I can have, be okay with losing the things that I can and figure out ways, because I'm gluten-free 15 years now, figure out ways on how I can have me a gluten-free soup fish.
Not talk about it,
Right?
because you shared that with me.
So, there's options. There's always options. We are not
gluten-free stew fish to me does not sound real.
No, but it's just a product change. So you have to find the product that works best for you. You're not changing the food item itself. You're changing the products used to prepare it. Right? And so not all gluten-free flours are equal. And so I went through a transition of trying to figure out which one works best for me. I had to come up with my own combination with a few items. I think it was 5 items that I put.
So you literally had to put in the work.
I was a scientist.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm going to share with you. Well, no, we just before the segment started. And I want everybody watching to hear me when I say this. In the early 50s, I shared this almost in every segment that I do. You're hearing all this information, and it all sounds good. And Coach Shani says, your want to has to want to. But here's what I found. During the early 50s, there were the powers that be decided to create a substance to modulate one's willpower. Let me tell you how. See, and it's no longer fiction. You can look this stuff up for yourself. This is like, but even me sharing that, some people will hear it and be like, oh, wow, and still go out the other end and they'll begin to live their life. This group of people created something that every school, because I know when I was a child at Stephen Dillon Primary, they went around with this thing in a cup and you had to gargle it, and you thought, man, my breath fresh now. But there were compounds in that solution that was designed to weaken one's will and your ability to think. Wait a minute. Wait. Now, many of us who are following the current news have been watching attentively this Jeffrey Epstein matter. And let me tell you, I'm thinking it's one thing, pedophilia, right? But apparently this guy was into social engineering and chemical restrictions of the human cycle. I'm saying, wait a minute, what is the church doing? We're praying. Good night. Okay, but while you are praying, the world is changing around you and you are changing nothing.
That's a scary thing, because
God.
I've been researching and I found that you have more of believers that are unwell than persons that are not.
Wait. Say that again. Say that again. Say that again.
You have a lot of believers, more believers.
Statistically.
Right, that are unwell than are not. Because we have the mindset. You know, it's so funny. We, like you said earlier, we eat around every function that we have.
Correct.
Right? And so we lose loved ones from the same food items that we would consume. Then, when there's what they call the wake or
the same foods.
The same foods again, like we're not getting it. Right? If the food item caused my grandparents to develop hypertension or diabetes, it's the same food we offering persons when they come to say, oh, condolences. It's the same food.
Same food.
Why are we not making any adjustments? It's the same food. When we have functions at church, it's the same food item. Right? Location doesn't change.
No.
The damage being done.
No.
Right? And so we, again, have to change our perspective on how we do health. We're doing it all wrong. But we're hoping and praying, fingers crossed, oh God, please let this report be good. Oh God, please help heal me. But what are you doing in the meantime? Right? You're showing up at the windows, right? You're complaining, oh, they're doing so much stuff to the food, but you're still buying, right? Oh my gosh, they got this new thing. We go in the shop and we are like, I mean, junkies. We go down each aisle. Oh my God, this is a new thing. I wonder if this is going to be good. Oh, I'm going to try this. Not understanding the damage, what it's going to do to your internal system. We're just thinking about how it looks. The package is beautiful, how it's going to taste, but your organs are saying, "Well, what's this?
Yeah.
What's going on here?"
Yeah.
Your liver has to break down everything you put in and on your system, but you're not thinking about your organs. You're thinking about how I'm going to feel right now, how this can taste, and if it's expensive or not.
Your organs have to be able to break down.
Your liver is the main organ that breaks down all of these things. And so we're finding that because the foods that we're eating now are not, it's not bad. And so there's no nutrition in there.
So last night I boiled some eggs. I messaged you with that.
Yes, you did.
I boiled some eggs. I said, I'm doing well. I'm not gonna eat anything wrong. I'm gonna do well. Cracked open the eggs, and I want to make egg salad. So I'm trying to smush the eggs. The outer gelatinous part, the white part, fell off.
Right.
But the yellow part was spongy like a ball. It wouldn't
almost like you see the golf ball when you dismantle the golf ball. You give me that solution.
And I kept taking the fork, but it's
not real. We're not.
I said, "What is this?"
So
I'm gonna throw the whole thing away.
How can we extract any nutrients from the food that we eat? Right? And you know, was disheartening for me when I offer persons another solution. Why does it look like that? Why does it taste like that?
We've been engineered to like what they give us.
We spoil our taste buds. We have to undo that.
Yeah.
Right? We have to undo that. Otherwise, well, will not be possible.
You said something again a couple of weeks ago, right? That I'm paying attention to more and more. In fact, it is my thinking every day, literally. And here's what it is. If you want that, you have to become a different person. Mm-hmm. Now, let me tell you what that means to me. I first of all have to identify what I am now and accept what I am now.
It's the open and honestness, yes.
This is who I am, this is what I like, this is what I do. Now I have to visualize the person that is not like this and then become that. And make, in the beginning, conscious decisions, intentional decisions and actions to become that. And I'm realizing as I do that every day, the change is happening. But scripture is coming to life. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That means it's a different mind. It's not the same one you have now. So in fact, the person you are going to become, you don't know them because you don't think like them. You think like the person you are now.
That person exists.
But that person
exists. You have to align yourself with that person.
And whatever the morals, whatever the principles that guide that person. So one of the things for me was I have to be resolute in what I'm doing and what I'm going after. And anyone that's around me have to be resolute too.
Right. So here's the thing. What I realized is that, and this may sound funny, again, I'm going to take it back to the question that you asked me, what was it for me?
Right.
My enough became enough for being unwell. So until we get to the point where we are actually tired of having unpleasant experiences in our bodies, we are not going to be prepared to make any changes. Some of us become comfortable and say, okay, this is it because my grandparents and my daddy, my great-grandparents, no, my mom didn't feel good being unwell, right? So why should I sit back and say, okay, I'm next dementia, come get me, I'm over here. No, I have to figure out what is it that she missed or what the doctors missed or what I'm missing now so I don't have to have that experience. But a lot of us are not doing that. We're just saying, well, this is old age, just running the family. I'm not of that mindset. I'm sorry. I'm sorry because God says different.
Yeah.
Scripture says different.
Right.
And so I'm going to believe the difference. So if I have to stand alone in figuring this out,
Right.
then that's what I'm going to do, right?
You said standalone. Becoming the person that wants to be better and do better in terms of eating and everything, right? You are going to lose
People,
people.
and be okay with that. Because once you make a decision to lobby for yourself, people start to look at you like, who she thinks she is. She thinks she's more important, not better than me. I remember when they like to keep you in that state, but you don't live there anymore.
No.
And so you have to be okay, but you don't have to address it. You become aware of it.
Yeah.
And you take a stance that, okay, that's how you feel, I'm fine with that, no problem. But here's where I'm going. You can come along with me, but if you don't want to, I'm okay with that too. And so health and wellness requires you to take radical actions. And that's not going to sit well with some folks. But that's not your problem. Your number one responsibility as a human being is to look after yourself.
Wow. Of course, because they say you're in an airplane and they take you through, they say you gotta put the box on first.
Correct. Because you can't help anyone if you can't help yourself. You can't, and we do this. We should not give from an empty cup, but this is what we do all the time. Because people depend on us, and now we might because we're exhausted.
Let's talk about, see, you hit something there. Let's talk about childhood traumas and experiences. I read something the other day that says when a person experiences something, let's say at 8, 12 years old, even if they
become an adult,
they're still
they're
8
still
or
that
12.
person. Because we don't address the issue, the trauma. We walk around it. We don't face it. We become shame. We conceal it. But it shows up in our relationships, right? So when we don't deal with our childhood issues, our relationships expose them, whether it's in a marital ship, whether it's in a siblingship, whether it's an employment ship, it exposes it because our behavior shows that we're not okay, but we're not realizing that we're not okay because guess what? We are not experiencing us. Other people are. And so they can see something is off. They can get you struggling with something, but you saying, I'm doing a good job at hiding this. Nobody's going to know that, but your body is telling a different story. Right? And so unless or until we are willing to be open and honest about what we experienced, accept the fact that it was not our fault, we're children. Right? Whether it happened as a child or not, when we become adults, it now becomes our responsibility to address it.
Right. This is some powerful stuff. In regards to becoming this different person, it can also be very lonely because again, I'm looking at what am I going to eat today? Okay, I can't eat what I used to eat. You feel isolated, not just from people, but from everything you knew.
Yeah, I went through that, and it's not a comfortable experience. And so what I had, the mindset that I had to take was, think of yourself as a tree. The tree has to weather storms, rain, sunshine, hurricanes, and the like, but it still stands firm. It bends and bows, but it doesn't break. It stands alone, and then once the storm is past, it shines, so stands beautifully, right? And so the persons who's supposed to be with you on your journey, wherever you are, you will attract them.
Gotcha.
I'm of the mindset though, quality persons over quantity persons is a better option when it comes to your awareness and your spiritual growth.
I like that. Quality persons over quantity persons. So that brings me to this. Do you think, boy, this is an interesting question. Do you think everyone at some point, it may not be everybody, needs a coach in their life? Whether it's spiritual, mental, or
I believe so, because every coach needs a coach. I'm a coach. I also need a coach.
Gotcha.
Right? We can only accomplish so much on our own. Right? I'm not saying that we don't, everything that we have, God gave it to us in life. But there's a reason why there are other people for enlightenment, for motivation, for encouragement, for strength, when we can't have those things for ourselves. And so, yes, we all need to have that confidant to help us along the way. Not to say that you don't have the answers, but sometimes we feel stuck. And so just expressing what we're experiencing, unknown to the person, they could bring clarity, awareness, and you'd be like, oh, okay, so now you take a different perspective.
I look at it, there's a verse of scripture that helps me to identify how serious that is. Jesus was having a conversation with Peter, and he says to Peter, the enemy wishes to sift you like wheat. And then he says, I'll pray for you. And it wasn't until later I realized, why are you praying? You could stop him from sifting. And so I researched that word sift, and it means to sift his thoughts, to make his, to sift how he thinks about. And so he said, but I pray that it does not fail you. Your faith doesn't fail you, right? And then it hit me. What he's saying is, you have to stand on what you believe.
Yeah.
Now, there's some things that's going to come to test that. And if you really have no roots, then what you say you believe is going to crumble. But this is why I believe coaches are there to help sift. You sift through your thoughts, sift through the way you perceive life, so that perspective is gained, real perspective on how you're supposed to do what it is that you do. I think for me, what I would like viewers to know is, what would it take for them to make that change in terms of diet, in terms of, and even stretching or exercising? How many times a week? How many days a week? How long should I stay? What is this all about?
You know what I realized? That people have an excuse for a lot of stuff, right? And so we tell ourselves, I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to go in the kitchen. I don't have time, and we talk ourselves out of what we know needs to happen. Right. This is where that confidence comes in. The confidence to say, well, come on now. You're doing too much, right? You have to do this. Stay on course, stay focused. You're doing a good job. We need that. Right. Sometimes we feel unmotivated. Right. Sometimes we need to be alone so we can be focused, because we have everybody saying, no, I can't do this. If everybody around me can't do it, then I'm going to feel that. I'm not going to be motivated to do that either. Yeah. And so sometimes we have to go on our own to gain our own strength, right? I remember who said I had to encourage myself. Who said that? David. Right. So sometimes you have to encourage yourself, because the naysayers is great. Yeah. And you have a goal, and everybody around you is not on that same goal, so you have to stand by yourself. But I realize, until we move away from excuses, we're not going to tap into the solutions that's available to us.
Move away from excuses.
Right. And that might be hard to hear, because we talk ourselves up. We're working, we're busy. You have a lot of busy parents, right? And so when they get home, they don't have the energy to go in to the stove and prepare. So we have to take steps. If it means, if you're having a meat, take out your meat, season it in the morning. You have a what they call a crock pot. Put all your stuff in there. So when you come home, meat ready. Even get rice cooker now. If you eat rice, there's things that you can do to make your life easier. It just takes preparation, right? So if it means you have to stay up a little bit later to get these things done, or get up a little bit earlier to get this done, to avoid you being stuck with what I'm going to eat. And then you find yourself pulling, good day, can I take your order, please? And you know that's going to mess up the whole system, right? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I say that because I had to tell myself that too, because I was there. I'm not telling, this has been 15 years in the making. I know it wasn't easy. I fell off the wagon 3 times. But where did it land me? Back in the hands of doctors.
Wow.
Right? And so that meant to me, I wasn't learning.
Okay, whoa.
That's good.
Okay, because you knew what to do, or you got the information.
I didn't have the information then. I was still trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Right?
See, but
So
you wasn't learning.
I had gathered some information, right? We all know what is healthy from what is not. And we tell ourselves, but I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. We know what is healthy because here's why I say that. We term healthy eating as diet. We know if we eat this diet way for a period of time, we're going to lose weight.
Okay.
We don't associate this diet as a lifestyle because we only want to use it to lose weight. So you prove to yourself that eating this way will help with weight loss. Why not use it for overall health?
Lifestyle.
Exactly. And so for me, I knew, but I didn't know because then food pairing is so important. We could have so much
you talked about
good stuff, but if we're not properly pairing them, we're still doing damage.
I showed you something the other day, a couple of weeks ago, looking for different foods, and I said, "Hey, what do you think about it?" You said, "Yeah, the food pairing is not." I was like, "What are you talking about? The food pairing? That's vegetable, and that's."
Not all food items goes together for digestion purposes. It impedes digestion, right? It impedes digestion, and so. Again, we're not thinking, all we know is that we need to eat. We need breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But do we? Our ancestors didn't eat.
That's true. I learned
right?
that. Yeah.
They were gather hunters.
Yeah.
And so would they turn now, oh mad? They ate once, but guess what? What was on their plate was enough to sustain them. So they didn't have any headache, they didn't feel hungry, they didn't, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I haven't had breakfast. Oh my God, look what time it is. They didn't go through that. Because they had everything on their plate. And then they had the herbs and the seeds to fully nourish them, because when you are depleted of nutrients, of course you're going to feel that.
When you're depleted of nutrients, of course you're going to feel that.
Yeah, you're going to feel like you're dying. If you mix breakfast and it's 11 o'clock, oh my gosh, and you start shaking, your sugar levels are running low, right? You don't have proper protein or fiber, but you want to eat, and then what you're going to go? Cereal, bagel, right? That's what we eat. What's going to break down the simple sugar, right? Are you nourishing? You're taking the edge off the hunger. Really.
I used to, you make a lot of people upset today.
Yeah, I was upset too when I first came to this information, and I had to understand, right? Once you realize the damage that food is doing to your body, you will not continue eating the way you've been accustomed to, right? Or when you get tired of having the discomfort, that's when you can do something about it, because it's not detrimental to you yet. You still comfort, man, I know what I could do. I could be all right. I could be all right. People are willing to experience discomfort for this short span of time to eat their guava, to eat.
Hey, no, hold on. I was with you. I was with you. But when you start messing with guava duff, I cut you off, because you don't touch guava duff.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Don't touch guava duff.
But here's the thing: if someone is dealing with diabetes, the guava duff is detrimental, right? Look how it is prepared. Think about it. Think about it.
I'm thinking now. But
all right, so you have the flour. That flour is going to break down the simple sugar. You're not just having one slice. You're having 2 and 3 slices.
Yes, for the whole loaf.
One serving. You're going back again.
Yes,
right?
and you're drinking the sauce.
You have the condensed milk. You understand it? And so what is that sugar going to do? Mess around with your insulin levels, and then you can say, oh, the doctor said.
And then I go pray.
Yeah.
Lord, I thank you for healing me.
You see how that works?
Good night.
You're on a hamster wheel, right? And you're not getting off, because this is what we become accustomed to. Don't touch my guava duff. Don't touch my coconut tart, right? Don't touch my benny. What else? Don't touch my cheesecake. But your body is saying it's either you're going to enjoy these things or you're going to move towards health. These things can't coexist. Right now, you could make moderations and amendments, but some things you have to be okay with letting go. Completely. Because if it's gonna affect your internal organs are what's keeping you alive. And so if they're damaged, The outside is going to catch up for that's going to deteriorate first. And then your outside, like then you say, because nobody can see unless you're a doctor what's going on the inside. So the doctor say, listen, man, you got to pull back on this or watch it, guy. You know what people say? I'm watching it on my plate. Ooh, this looks good. Crackers, French fries, coleslaw, plantain. That's what they do, right? We joke around these things, and then when something happens, now we want under panic, and we go to the doctor, and then we say, "What ain't working?" And then you find somebody like me, and this is not an overnight fix because it didn't take overnight for you to become unwell, but you want me to use nutrition to fix you overnight. You say, okay, I tried for 1 week, and then you say, oh my God, it didn't work. Did it? Did it not work? Or you didn't give it enough time for it to work?
Listen, I apologize, guys. Whatever you're going to eat today, don't throw away the food. Enjoy it. Start Monday. Listen, we're gonna have more of these sessions with Coach Shani. This is the aim this year, not just to re-educate you concerning how we were taught to think and what we think about certain things, but also to be healthy in how we eat and to recognize what is not good for us. It may taste good, but not necessarily
good for the body.
Listen, like, share, follow, go to our page, fill out that form, become a partner. I'm telling you, God's going to do something amazing in your life. See you next time.
Let me tell you, we're gonna make it. We're not taking no chances. We're living our life.